Don Mazzella again for Small Business Digest. We have with us a beauty queen. God knows we need them in this world today, with everything else that goes around. But that sounds somewhat, I don't know. Um, uh, um, I'll leave the word out of it. But anyway, I'm going to Quinn Teechma. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Quinn Teechma, and happy to be
Quinn.
here.
Well, we're happy to have you. Well, as we ask all our guests, tell us a little bit about your personal background and your title, and also, and then what you're doing today, because you're doing a lot of things, and that's why you're on the program to kind of give us an idea of how you do it, and finally a website. So, Quinn, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm Quinn Teechma, and I grew up on a very small remote island just off the coast of Vancouver Island in the West Coast. Beautiful place to grow up. Definitely a lot more along the remote lines, though. I didn't really have indoor plumbing or anything like that. So I guess you could say I'm a good example of you can come from anywhere and accomplish anything that you want. And that's kind of what my platform is about and what I'm trying to promote. And promoting women. I run a boudoir studio, which is very, very exciting. It's a fantastic thing to do to help women and encourage them. Not only do my clients fall back in love with themselves, but they also, I find, start businesses. And I think that it really encourages them to look at themselves and just step back and say, well, what do I want out of life? And it helps them gain that confidence. So the confidence thing is really what I've been building on and what I've been promoting throughout the last couple of years with my platform. And my title, as you mentioned, currently is Miss Canadian Tourism 2021, but I am actually officially competing for Miss Universe Canada this year, and that will be held in May in Toronto. So I'm really excited for that up and coming. So that's kind of what I'm up to. And then on the business side of things, I run my studio, Queen Studios. The website for that is queenstudiosyyc.com. So that's QUEEN Studios, STUDIOSYYC.com. And that's me.
Okay, you mentioned, what did you call it? You had a very interesting name that I hadn't heard before. You called it something.
Boudoir.
Yeah. What does it mean,
Boudoir.
and how do you pronounce it, and how do you spell it?
Boudoir is an interesting topic. It's spelled BOUDOIR. And boudoir is very interesting because I think that most of the time when people ask about boudoir or talk about boudoir, the first thing they think is those 80s glamour shot, the glamour shot with the blue eyeshadow, the big hair, maybe you've got tassels and glitter on, but it's evolved. Boudoir, especially in the last 2 years, maybe, it has been trending and it's becoming incredible. It is opening up this whole new realm for women. And I think that women are searching for a way to fall in love with themselves. And boudoir is giving them that opportunity. It's not just about the hair and the makeup. It's about falling in love with yourself in every stage of your life. We go through so many changes as humans, and especially as women. Our bodies go through so many changes, having children, caring for children. And boudoir is a chance for women to step into a studio and have a professional team behind them. And we curate a beautiful, beautiful session just for that individual. And we help them truly fall in love with themselves physically and emotionally. And we help them realize that every stage throughout their life, they have beauty. And it's a really magical process. I do see it inspiring the women that I work with, and I do see them opening up their own businesses after their sessions with me. And it's really heartwarming. And I definitely want to spread out there that boudoir is different than it used to be. And it's an incredible process.
Oh, we're going to get back to that, but I just, for instance, many women, when they go through pregnancy and they gain the weight, etc., feel, as one woman once told me, I feel like a cow, and
Yeah.
And do you get women like that who, after birth?
Absolutely. I would say most of the women that I work with are plus size or curvy, is what you would call the term. And I definitely think that it's a process to try to embrace those parts of you. And it's not easy, you know, it's not something that is simple when you're going online and you're seeing on social media and Instagram the girls that have edited their bodies and the girls that starve themselves. And you're comparing yourself to people, not only people's highlight reels, but you're also comparing yourself to people that have teams behind them, that have done these professional photo shoots, and they have a photographer and an assistant and somebody fixing their hair and somebody doing their makeup. And it's like you're comparing yourself to that person with a whole team when you're sitting at home and it's just you and you're taking care of the beautiful life that you've created. And it's like you need to kind of separate yourself from that and really realize, like, okay, I can look like that as well if I step behind a team just like that. And if I have that team to help support me and to really give me that opportunity to look like that. Every woman can look like those girls in the magazines. They just need to, you know, take a day of self-care. And that's what I do, is I train and help women go through the self-care process for weeks and months before their photo shoot. And it's, you know, it's taking yourself to get a new haircut and get your nails done and feel good about yourself. And it's a long process up until that day where I have my team do a full queen makeover for them. And then they get the photos. And even during that process, I find the day of, when we're taking the photos, women are still very nervous. And, you know, I'll show them the back of the camera. And that's one of the best moments, is the first time I show them a photo during the shoot. And they just, their whole, everything drops in their body. They relax and they go, is that even me? And I'm like, yeah, that's you on the camera, no editing, nothing. You just look amazing.
Well, if I know beforehand, I would have asked you, do you have a before or after picture you can show us?
I do have some before and after photos.
Can,
Yeah, let me see. I can probably pull some up if I can share my screen here.
I'll let you share. I think it works. I think it'll allow everybody to share a screen. No, I'm still learning Zoom after these 2.5 years of pandemic. Does it?
Here we go. I've got some click here. Okay. Well,
Oh,
I'd like to see it large. That would be nice. Open with preview. How about that?
okay.
There we go. Okay, let me just change which screen I'm sharing with you. And there we go. So that's one.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Beautiful pink hair. And, you know, these are all beautiful women who definitely, oh, I can't share the next one. I don't know why. It doesn't let me flip between them.
Right.
But I can open up a few more for you guys. It's the same one. Technical difficulties.
Good.
So, there's another one.
Okay.
Yeah, so my team does their beautiful hair and makeup, and that's the before, after, and then that's a professional photo that I've taken.
Wow. Okay. Now we can go back to you.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. I'm glad that I had those handy.
Which proved this is a very extemporaneous program. But you know, I had a very famous divorce attorney tell me that the way he identifies that women are serious about divorce is when they lose weight. And they start to glamorize themselves. Do you find many cases where these are women who are contemplating divorce?
Some of them are already through their divorce and they're doing this to feel good about themselves. Some of them are doing this to spice up their marriages and stay in their marriages and, bring themselves together with their partners. I find it's really interesting. Women come to me for all kinds of things. And I do find one thing interesting is that the women that come to me to do this more for a gift for their partner, it always ends up being more for them. They see their photos and they're like, he's lucky if he gets any of these. I'm keeping the album.
Well, that's and you managed to make a business out of that. How did you stumble into, or not stumble? How do you get into this business?
Yeah, it's interesting. I started in modeling and I've always been into modeling and acting. I've been doing like acting lessons since I was about 10 or 12. And then I started getting into the modeling industry when I was about 14 or 15. And I started getting really frustrated with the creative control. I felt that it was always left up to the photographer. And even if I came up with all of these beautiful, elaborate photo ideas and a great concept, and I bought the outfit, I did the hair and makeup, and then I would do the photo shoot with a random photographer, and I just felt like it never looked the way I wanted it to look and the concept that I had created. And so I started buying little camera equipment here and there and getting into it. I had the brilliant plan. I thought I was going to take all my own modeling photos, harder than it looks. So the selfies, it's easier with a camera, cell phone, not a professional camera. It's not meant for selfies. So I slowly kind of migrated into doing other people's headshots, family photos, branding photos, that type of thing. And I did enjoy that, but I never did it full time as a business. I guess I just didn't really have that much passion for taking people's headshots, and I came across Boudoir a few years ago and I just fell in love. I thought, wow, this is everything I've been looking for. And it did kind of start with me sitting down one day, and I had just recently kind of finished up a previous bar job. And I was just thinking, like, I don't want to go back into bartending. I've been doing it for 8 years and I had all my side projects. Like, I'm always up to a lot of things. So it was more like, okay, I'm bartending part-time and following all of my other dreams. But I just thought to myself, like, what can I do that would bring me passion and joy, and I could make an income at it? And my recommendation for anyone that's kind of thinking those same thoughts and wanting something new in their life is sit down and write out your skills and write out your passions and see where the crossover happens. Like in your 2 columns, what crosses over, what's the same, what's a passion, and what is a skill set that you have. And the thing is people don't always see that you can make money doing anything you want nowadays. With technology and with the internet, you can literally turn anything into a job. And that's kind of what I did. Is I looked at my skill sets and I looked at my passions and I thought, well, photography keeps popping back up. Women keep popping back up. I want to empower people and I want to do good with my life. And photography is something that I've always found helps my creative outlet and that I really truly love. And that's when I started merging the two together. And I slowly thought, like, okay, I don't want to do acting headshots, but it's a great place to start. And that's what I really launched in my very first studio. And then I migrated into Boudoir from there. And I never looked back. It was such a quick change. I immediately stopped doing headshots. Like, I'll still do some for friends or something, but I love Boudoir. And, that's what I built my business around. It's something that I love. And if you build your business around something that you love, you will find success, and it won't feel like work every day. It'll feel exciting to wake up. I actually, I find that I almost get a little bit sad when I'm not shooting, because I love that feeling when a client comes into my studio and we work together, and it's just magical watching the transformation that happens in the human in front of me. So I don't think I'll ever stop.
Well, why did you enter a beauty contest?
Ah, the beauty contest. Yes. So interesting. I actually kind of entered it just on a whim. I saw last year when I competed for Miss Canada Globe, I won one of the two international titles, Miss Canadian Tourism 2021. And it was fun. It was my first real pageant, and it was new. I think that similarly to boudoir, the pageantry industry is also misunderstood. And I wanted to change that. And that's kind of what my goal is this year, now that I had a pageant experience and I've gotten to kind of know pageantry in 2022. And it's definitely evolved. They used to, in the 50s to 70s kind of deal, they used to announce your body weight measurements when you walked out on stage in a beauty contest. And now you are competing based on what your platform is and what's important to you and who you are and what difference are you making in the world. And I think that people don't realize that beauty pageants have changed so much. They still just think it's about how skinny can you get. And that's really just not the case. There's been plus size women who've competed. We've had a plus size Miss Canada who competed for Miss Universe. The industry is changing, and it's happy, and it's amazing to see that women are stepping up and we are creating these platforms and speaking out about things that are important to us. And that's why I wanted to compete for Miss Universe Canada, because it's a big stage and it gives me the opportunity to showcase all of the incredible things that I have been dedicating my life to. And I am very proud to be working with women. And I think that beauty pageants are really the only industry that does that. They're the only industry that really encourages women to stand tall like they're wearing a crown every day of their life, and to chase after business dreams, and to put their time and energy into things like SOS Children's Villages. And that's the charity that I'm working with through Miss Universe Canada this year. And I feel so amazed and blessed that Miss Universe Canada is standing up for charities like that and directly involving us contestants to be doing work for them. That makes me feel good. And I don't know of any other platform or any other business that does that encourages women to get involved in that and to go for those dreams and to really promote good causes like that.
But how does it empower the women that are in these pageants? How does it help the women?
To me, I believe that it helps the women on many different forms. I think that it's about the fact that they build your confidence and they teach you to start doing self-reflection and building up every aspect of your life. I've never been taught how to, say, present myself in an interview, but beauty pageants has taught me that. I have never been taught necessarily how to walk. I did some runway training for modeling, but the pageantry industry, it teaches you that physical confidence of how to carry yourself. And I don't know anywhere else that does. And it teaches you to start asking yourself those hard questions so that you know your opinions and you know where you stand on important topics in our world and in our community, our local community and internationally. And that's, to me, an incredible work, because there's just not enough platforms out there that are encouraging women to look at themselves and say, what do I want and what do I stand for and what's important to me? But that's what Miss Universe Canada is doing. They're looking at you and they're saying, okay, focus on yourself, work hard, work on your mental health, your physical health, exercise, eat healthy, don't starve yourself, but be healthy, and talk to me. What's your business goals? why should you be Miss Universe Canada? Why should you promote our next generation? And why should we put you in front of all of the other beauty queens who are going to be learning from you? And to accomplish those goals, you have to do a lot of work on yourself. You have to really step out of your comfort zone and understand, what do I feel about politics? How do I feel about all of these different topics? And what am I doing for my local community? And what am I doing for these charities that is going to make the world a better place? And I'm really proud to be linking up with an amazing platform like that.
Your website again? I've been remiss. Your website again for our audience.
QueenStudiosYYC.com. So it's Queen, like you're wearing a crown, Queen Studios with an S. So STUDIOSYYC.com. And YYC is because I am in Calgary.
Oh, okay. Well, that was going to be my next question. Okay.
I read your mind.
We just have a couple of minutes left. What would you like to leave our audience with?
I think that I would like to encourage all of our audience, male or female, to go after their dreams and, take that time to practice self-care. And the more self-care that you practice and the more you look inward and ask yourself what makes you happy, and, celebrate the small wins, every little thing that makes you happy. If having your coffee in the morning makes you happy, remember to celebrate that and focus on that. And don't forget about those tiny little moments of happiness in your life every single day.
Okay. Your website one last time?
QueenStudiosYYC.com.